Hi, it's Crafty Carol here with part 2 of the Cozy and Bright videos that I want to show you. Cozy and Bright is one of the kits that Stampin' Up provide to me as an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and you can buy them of course through Stampin' Up or through my website. You can see the full kit collection. There's many of them. I must do a video of them all actually because they have changed since I last did one. But you just buy it as a kit, and the kits make all sorts of different things. You can see all the different things in the kit collection. The link is on the homepage of my website, so do pop there and have a look. But the one I want to talk about today is the Cozy and Bright set. So I showed it to you last time. It comes with full instructions, and the set kit itself makes 12 of the same cards, and this is the card they make with these lovely oranges and cinnamon things on the front. They come with everything you need to do it, including the envelopes, which are already printed, so they're ready, and full instructions how to do it. And everything you need is in the kit, including the card bases, the bits to stick on, full set of dimensionals, all sorts, everything you need, including a little ink pad and a block, and the stamps themselves of course, which is a full set of beautiful, here they are, beautiful little sentiment stamps. I've got a couple out because I was using them, but lots of different ones for you to choose, and these of course you can keep and use on anything. And I showed you last time how to make the card, so this is the card that the kit actually makes, so you could make 12 of these, but sometimes it's best to have a play and make something different. So I showed you one alternative last time, which is to use some of the boughs of holly DSP and cut out the poinsettias and put those together to make a beautiful card. This time I want to show you something different, and it starts off by using one of the card bases, and you're going to destroy the card base, I suppose, best way to put it. Just cut it in half, and the first half, that's going to be the lid of the box we're going to make, all I did was score it at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides, and then I've just trimmed the tabs to make the box, and I'll form that box in a minute. I also cut out a piece of the matching paper, which is Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to do the same thing with that, and I've made this 2 inches bigger than the width of the main box lid size, which is 2 3/4 by 4. So I've made this piece 4 3/4 inches by 6 inches and scored it at 1 inch each side. And I'm going to trim the tabs just as we would with any other box. So we trim in and then just mitre the tab itself. And you'll see in one of my previous videos I went through this in more detail, but you'll see that for the lid I actually made the tabs on the long side. So oops, you can see that here, the tabs are actually on the long side. So on the base I'm going to make the tabs on the short sides. So I'm going to do that on all 4. So trim up to the line and then just mitre the tab itself, and the 4th one, trim up, mitre the 2 sides. There we go. Then get rid of this. What we have to do is fold and score. If I can find my bone folder, there we go. I'm going to do it this way around. Fold and score all of these lines, including the tabs, and then simply stick them together and form it into the box like I've shown you several times before to make a box. There's a little added thing this time because I thought I don't want to waste card. Because when I'd cut off the front, I obviously had the back of the card, the plain back, left. So I decided to trim that to 2 3/4 by 4, just a tad less, and I'm going to stick it in here, which will just, in fact I can do that before I put the box together, because that'll just strengthen the base of the box, which I quite like. So it also uses that little bit of card that I cut off, which I don't like wasting anything. So I'm going to put that in here. You see I could just very slightly smaller so that it actually fits within the score lines. Now I'm going to put the box together just as always, which is to put some glue or tape. You can use tape for this if you wish. I like glue because it's a little bit more, you can just move it a little bit if you get it a little bit wrong. So the key is to make sure that your corners are absolutely straight. So I just hold that for a second to make sure it's stuck down, and I can go and do the other one in the same way. Key, making sure my corners are absolutely straight, that I haven't brought them in too far or got them sticking out. I want them absolutely straight. And I do exactly the same with the other end. So I put my glue on, or tape, as I say, it's up to you. I personally like the glue because it just gives me that little bit of wiggle room, which I like. And again, going straight up, making sure the corner is straight, and then the final one, making sure the corner is straight. Now you could stick the base in now, but I think it's a lot easier to stick it in before I put the box together. So there's my box, and then I do exactly the same thing with the top. So I'm going to fold it in, fold these bits in, fold this bit in, just crease them all with my bone folder to make sure they're good folds, and put it together in exactly the same way. So we're going to glue the tabs, and then again make sure that I've got it absolutely square, and hold the tab down to make sure it's stuck before I move on to the next one. Same here, making sure it's absolutely square. You hear the padding noise of Gus coming to join us. Thank you, Gus. The same here. So that gives me a lot of decoration for the top of my box before I've even started, to be honest. And then my final tab, just making sure it's absolutely square. There, I find I have to look over it to do that, so apologies if that goes a little bit out of shot for a second. So just hold that. So I've got my box lid. Because I've done that at 3/4 of an inch and my box base at 1 inch, it's not going to come too far down the sides. There we go. So you can see I've got room at the sides. If you want, you can cut a little half circle if you want, just to give some, but I when the box lid is smaller than the base, I don't generally bother. So there we have my already half decorated base. And really, quite honestly, all I need to do now is stick on, oh, I could stick it on that way actually, stick on a sentiment that I've already printed, again using the already cut shapes from the kit. And what I'm going to do for this one is add a little bit of twine behind it and a little bit of decoration. I am going to use the bow punch that is in the main catalogue and some gold foil, and I'm just going to cut out a couple of those. So we're going to have a couple of those. Let's make sure it's right in. There we go. And a couple more of those. Lovely. I find with this that actually I can get one in the middle if I just trim off the edge here, turn it round, and I get another set in the middle then. Yep, beautiful. So that gives me loads of bits to stick on, just out of nice gold foil. So what I'm going to do is put a couple of dimensionals on this. I'll put 3 on. I'm going to put a little bit of twine on, and I'm going to do that by using a little bit of tear and tape just in the middle, which will of course be hidden by the sentiment when I put it on. And then I can just use my twine, which is all wavy of course because it's been wrapped around the hole. So I'm just going to have a few little loops of that around. I'll have one more loop around there. A few loops of twine, then I can stick this on the middle. And then a few of these around. I may not use all of them, let's see. And when I put these on, I just usually put glue on just a couple of the bottom leaves. So we'll have this one over there. And I think we'll have 2 of these and perhaps use the smaller bits as well. Put this one under there, which allows these outer leaves just to stick up, which gives a bit more dimension, which is always nice. And then a couple of these, I think, as well. Oh, I should use the tweezers really for these fiddly. I'm going to have that one in. Oops, it'd behind the twine, I think. There we go. Stick that one in there, and a final one. Actually, I might use a leaf, come to think of it. Down this side. There we go. And there's my box. So that's another idea what to do with the kit. You don't have to just make cards with it. So I hope you enjoyed that as an idea, and go away and play, and I'd love to see what other ideas you come up with for using kits in slightly different ways. My fourth idea for something to do with the Cozy and Bright kit is make some gift tags. So very easy to use, again using the card as a base. And I've used here the tailor-made tag dies, and I've used the biggest of each sort. So I've used that one and that one. You can use whichever ones you want, or obviously just cut a strip. And you could cut a strip that fits into one of our punches, for example. That can make nice gift tags as well. So have a think about what you've got that you could use. So all I did was I actually used this one. So I could cut a tag from there, and I used this one, can cut a tag from here. You can do what you want. Just cutting them out produces, just get rid of those so you can actually see what I've done, because it's a lot better to see it, isn't it? So I cut out one of those, and it looks just like a tag. You don't really need to add anything much more. But I did add just something to make it a little bit better. I'll show you what I did. But the other thing I did was when I cut off this piece to cut out the two tags from here, I realised I could also cut out tags from here. And in fact, 3 of that sort of tag will actually fit across here. You can get 3 of those out. So I ended up with quite a lot of tags from one card. I ended up with 5 from one card. So you can play around with those and do different things. So the first thing I did here to make this one, I've actually put that pattern bit that I cut off from the front and put a plain bit behind. So I've got a double tag, and these of course have white on the back, so easy to write on. I've just added one of the sort of half ones of Merry Christmas. I'll show you that because I'm going to do that for the next tag I do. Put it on some dimensionals and put some ribbon on, and I've got myself a little tag. I could use the tag on its own and not put a back on it, and that's what I might do with that one. Or I can cut a back. You can only get two of those out of the back, but it doesn't really matter, and do the same thing. So I'll show you how I made this one. So I've just got this as a plain thing, and then I've got one of the, just pull it out of its holder there, one of the little strips that goes across the front of the card, and I've got the Merry Christmas. This is actually from the Christmas Scotty set, which is another of my absolute favourites, to be absolutely honest. I love that set with the little Scotty dog. So all I've done with that is I've inked the stamp up, and I've stamped it to one side of this. So actually I might stamp it on, no, I'll stamp it on this side, and the reason I'll do it on there is because, I'll turn that around because that's got a little bit I'd need to cut off. The Christmas is obviously bigger than the Merry, so if I line it up, I can line it up on this end of the strip, because the strip itself, it's too wide to have it. It could have it this way, but it'd look a bit odd. So I've put it on that side, and then I can trim it off. So let me show you how I would actually trim it off. Noise as I get my trimmer from underneath everything else. So to trim it off and make sure I get the angle at the right side, the beauty of our scoreboards is we've got lines down it. So if I line up this end of the tag with one of the lines, I know that my cut this end, so I can put it so that the S is just over, and I'll be cutting that side. So I can line it up straight with these lines, and then I know that when I cut it, those lines are going to be parallel. Look at that. And I can show you, if I actually put it there, you can see against the lines that that's exactly equal. We've got the angle is the same both sides. So always remember the lines on your scoreboard. My scoreboard is ridiculously dirty, look at that. Never mind. You can line up on using these lines and get these cuts even. So I just cut off one of those. All I'm going to do with it is put a couple of dimensionals on the back. Oh, there's a dimensional, it's had its top just pulled off, so we'll definitely use that one. And just pull off that, get rid of that one, there we go. And then I can put that anywhere I want. So I think I like to see most of the decoration. So on this one, I think I'm going to put it nearer the bottom. So I can put it like that, and it just fits across there, which is just beautiful. And obviously I can use one of my other sets to stamp to and from on the back, or I can, whatever, I can just leave it and write on it. And then all I need is a little bit of ribbon. So I'm using the Evening Evergreen ribbon to match the cardstock, or you could use a contrasting ribbon, totally up to you. Cut it on the angle because it stops the ribbon fraying quite so much. And you just need about, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches, something like that. And then I can push it through both of the holes. I fiddle. I often use my pokey tool to do this, certainly with the other. I'm going to use it on this one actually, because I'm having no success pushing that through at all. There we go. So just push it through the hole, and then we can pull it through the loop. I'm trying to do this way away from my face so you can see it on the video. So there we go. So I can pull that through, and then I've got a double layered tag. Now if you leave it, obviously the tag will actually just sit across the bottom one. You can't actually even see anything. So what I like to do is just use the tiniest bit of glue or tape, it doesn't matter, and just put that up there, stick it down, and it just holds it so that it's that slightly skew width angle, and it holds it like that, so it's not going to slide closed again. So there's the 2 tags I've made from the card. What about the extra plain ones that I have cut from the back of the card? Well, why not use some of the spare decorations to decorate your tag? So we have the stick-on ones and we have the big ones. Now I did find that the big orange is a little bit big for the tag, although we could probably get away with it, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that's a little bit too big to me. I'll do something else with those, put them on a card or something. So I can use these sticky ones and just place them wherever I want, really. I think I'll have that one more or less in the middle. And I can play with some of these and have some of these around. Small one and a big one. I'll have them like that. And then I could use one of these. There we go. One of these again, like there. And just like on the cards, I could actually tie some of the twine round and do that as well. So all sorts of things you can do with this. You can then put a little Merry Christmas on top of those as well, put some ribbon through. So that's my 4th idea for this wonderful kit. You don't just need to make cards, you can make tags, you can obviously make the cards, you can make different sorts of cards, and of course you can make your little Christmas box. So I hope you have fun with this kit. Obviously, if you want to buy any stock or would like a kit, please get in touch with me. You can do that through the website or using the contact form on the website, or just emailing me. Sign up to my email list and then you'll easily be able to get in contact with me. So that is how I would use this wonderful kit to make all sorts of different things. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the website and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.